Hey you guys, Drew up here and welcome to the first video in our intermediate Java series. And today we're going to be installing Eclipse. Now we have been using Notepad in our beginner series because I wanted to keep it nice and simple. All you had to do was install the JDK and it gave you a more in-depth look at what's actually happening. Like you compile it and then you run it, right? Well, we're going to download an IDE, which is short for an Integrated Development Environment. And an IDE is essentially just a program that makes coding a lot nicer and easier to do. So Eclipse is the main meat and beans of our chili here. That is Java. A lot of people use it. It's the other one is NetBeans, which I guess would be the real meat and beans. I guess it's called NetBeans. It's not used as much, but it is another option. But I prefer Eclipse over the others. So go to eclipse.org. Very simple. You go download, and then you can download Eclipse Neon. Now there are different versions of Eclipse that all have different names, like Neon, Mars, Juno. I don't really know any difference between them. You can't use like a workspace between different versions. So if you download Neon, that's fine. I'm going to be using Mars, just what I have. I don't feel like updating it. But you install it, and then it'll come as a jar or a zip. Just make a little shortcut to the .exe of it on your desktop. That's what I did. And start. We're going to make a workspace. So a workspace is where we're going to put the code. Right, we're going to put our projects. So what you can do is I'm going to just make it on the desktop here. So let's browse, go to desktop. We'll make a new folder. I'm going to call it, should have named it beforehand. I'm going to call it, I don't know, YouTube workspace. Hit OK. Dang it. We'll just leave it as new folder 2, and I'm just going to rename it later. So you want to type in the name and then hit make new folder. Whatever. So we launch into our workspace here, or new folder 2, if you will. And we'll load it in here. Takes a little bit to start at first, and then we have our IDE, and we're going to make it full screen. Now I'm going to make some things, just things you want to note when you begin with. So first up, this is a nice white screen, very white, hard on your eyes. It hurts to look at for a long period of time. What I like to do is go to Windows, Preferences. If you go to Help, there's an Eclipse Marketplace. We're gonna get something from it. What we're gonna get is, it takes a little while to load here, but if you type in, go to Popular, should be called Eclipse Color Theme. Let it load in. There it is, Eclipse Color Theme. First thing that pops up. Install it. I already have it installed. Just click Install and it installs. What this will allow us to do is to change the color of our code. Now the window itself, we can change it with General, Appearance, and then you can change the theme to dark, which is what I like. Hit Apply. Boom. Next, we can do Window, Preferences, and with our color theme, if you go to Appearance, you have your color theme here, right, and our general appearance color theme, and then you can select a code theme, which is really weird. Usually it normally displays the thing here, but it's been glitchy for me, and it's just been displaying the color theme website. I'm going to use the Wombat, which you'll see what it looks like here in a second. So I'm just going to apply. You can also import a theme. There is a website here, the Eclipse Color Theme website, where you can download themes other people have made. I even have my own theme, but I don't have it downloaded right now, which I'll probably end up using, but I'm going to use Wombat for now. So you hit Apply and hit OK. And we got that. Next thing I'm going to do for the video purposes is I'm going to change my font. We go into Preferences. I'm going to Java. Go into, actually we're going to change the formatter first before we change the file. So this is what the code will look like, right? Looks nice. We want to make a new one. I'm going to call it mine, because that's what I always call it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Braces. And here, where it has the same line, you see how all of our brackets are on the same line? I do not like that. I think it looks stupid. So what we can do is we can go here and we can change to the next line. And then I'm going to hit down arrow, tab, down arrow, and change them all to next line. And there we go. Now they're all next line, the way I like it. Okay, you can leave it same line if you want, but I'm going to be coding as it with next line. And then last thing is a line wrapping. I'm going to leave it, but I don't want it to join a line wrap. So if your code gets really long and goes off the page, it'll wrap it around so that it stays on the page. It's okay for it to do that, but I'm going to say never join my wrapped lines. And other than that, I'm going to hit apply, hit OK, hit apply, and then it should be in general, in appearance, color, themes, and font. I want Java, and then it is the Java editor text font. I'm going to edit it because it's the default, but I want it to be bigger for coding purposes so that you guys can see it better. I think that's big enough. It might be too big actually. And then I'm going to hit apply. And now I'm going to make my first project, which will be a Hello World project, just to start off our video with showing you how. So you can right click here on the Project Explorer, right? Or you can go to File, New. And now we want to hit Project. And we want a Java project. Now mine's sitting up here because I've made Java projects before. Otherwise, you'd have to go to Java and then Java project. You can hit next. Now we're going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Hello World. Thank you for telling me I have an update for Java. We're going to call it Hello World. I'll leave everything the same here. No reason to change anything. We're going to hit next. Actually, you can just hit finish. And it's going to ask you if you want to change it to the Java perspective. Just say yes. And then it just moves a little bit of the windows around. And so here's our project here in the top left. We can make it bigger. We can expand it, and we have source. Now source is where all of our code is going to go. And the JRE system library, this is just Java. This is all of the resources you have with Java. There's no real reason to go through it unless you want to manually look for classes, like our scanner file and all that. But other than that, you can just ignore this. But we can go to source. I'm going to right click on it, click new, package. Now package is, it holds code. It's a package of code. Okay, it's a packet of classes is what I should say. But so I'm going to call it com. This is just like traditional standard way of saying it. Then you put in your name. You want to put in something unique here, which is why people put their name. And then we're going to say, I'm going to call it main. Now what these are is it'll make a folder called com, and inside com it'll make a folder called majulip, and inside majulip it'll make a folder called main. That's what the dots are for, right? And then we'll hit finish, and now we got a new package. Now I can right click on this and go to new. I'm going to make a new class, and I'm going to call it Hello World, right? And I can make it I can change it to how it creates it. What I'm going to do, just so I don't have to type it, is right here, I'm going to have it generate a public static void main for me. And I'll hit finish, and it'll generate our code. Okay, that font is a bit big, which is what I thought it would be. Let's change it again. Let's go back, edit it. 18? Is that too big? No, that's a good size. I'm going to move this window around. Now, we have a task list over here. Don't need it. Outline. Don't need it. Down here, we have problems, not really needed. Java doc, not needed. Documentation, not needed. So we can just get rid of all that. So you can get kind of advanced with Eclipse, but there's no real need to have that open right now. So here we have our code. Now I'm going to make my hello world. So we say public system dot out. Oh, this is going to take a while. Now the feature that Eclipse has that's really nice is when you type in a class name and hit dot, it will tell you all of your options, right? So this is everything in the system directory, or system class, if you will. Now I want the output print stream, right? I'm going to hit dot, and it tells you all of our options here again. So what we can do is we can get the print line, you got a pen format. There's a lot of things in here. All your prints for your different types. But I just want standard print line. Okay, and what I'm going to type in here, I'm going to say hello world, exclamation point. And now to run this, there is a green play button over here, which you click run, and I'll ask you to save, and I'm just going to tell it to always save before launching, and hit OK. And now instead of opening up a command prompt like it would normally do, instead has a console that's built into it, and it'll say hello world here, right? And there you go, we have a program running in Eclipse. Now, there's a lot to explore here. There's a ton of buttons. There's a lot of features that Eclipse has that you can explore on your own. They're not necessary. As we go through with these intermediate tutorials and I teach you things, I'm going to teach you all the things that you need to know. Everything else is kind of secondary. One thing that I will show real quick is the debug feature, which can be quite handy. So if I say system that, let's make a for loop. All right, I'm going to just demonstrate this. So if I say int number, now let's just make a for loop. For loop int I equals 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. I'm going to say, let's make a number. Let's make a variable. Int number equals 0. Number plus equals I times I. Right, we're going to get a weird result here. And that's going to be my program. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click here and I'm going to toggle a breakpoint. Right, and this little blue dot shows up. Now, what a breakpoint is when I launch it into this little bug up here, this little debug mode. I gotta allow access fireword. No, I don't want to change perspective. Now, I need actually to bring up, I probably should change perspectives, but I'm going to bring up a new window. I need to bring up some windows here so I can at least see what I want. Window, editor, show perspective. Show view, that's what I want. I want to see, where's it called? It might be an outline. No, we don't need outline. Go away outline. Window, show view, what am I looking for? Is it ant? I don't think it's ant. Console declarations, not what I want. We got debug, right? Window, shows perspective. Hang on, let's just end this program here. So if we go to console, way you can end a program that's running is in your console view. There's a stop button right here. You hit stop and then just remove it. I'm going to run it again, but I am going to move into debug view, which changes things quite a bit. Okay, so this is what I was looking for, is the variable view. Right now, this may look a little silly, but so we have a variables view, and what we can do is if we can move forward code by code. So what we can do is resume. We can step into, step over, things over here. So if I press F5, it'll go to the next line, right? It executed the line that was highlighted, which was print out hello world. And then it executed it, right? So now we're sitting here on this line. We haven't executed it, right? And that's going to declare a number. So if I press F5, it now declared a number as up here, and it's got the value of 0, right? And then I hit next. Now we're going to go into our for loop, which we now have an I declared as a variable, and we can click F5 again, which it'll loop through, and we keep going. Now I is equal to 1, and now it's going to say numbers plus equals 1 times 1, which is 1. So you see the change. And then I is now 2. Now a number equals 5, and you can keep pressing F5 to move through your code. Now you can actually grab these windows and drag them around. I'm going to lock this down here. Get rid of debug and servers and breakpoints. Don't need that. Don't need outline. Window. Show view. I want perspective. Show view. Where is the project explorer? Other. Java. Package explorer. That's what I want. Package explorer. I want down on the left side of my window. That's what I was looking to do in the original, but the variables down here, so you can actually look at the variables and you can go through your code line by line and see the variables change. So I press F5, we're at 30, number now equals 55, and I is still 5. So I now equals 6, so 6 times 6 plus, and added on the number, we get 91, and it goes all the way up through the numbers. And then once our for loop is done, there's no more code, and our program ends. And we lost our information, but our hello world still exists. So yeah, so that's one of the handy things. And to get rid of that, you can click it and disable the breakpoint. So got a little bit more in depth in the Eclipse than I wanted to, but hey, that's how it goes. So let's terminate that because the program hadn't actually ended yet. So I had to terminate it up here. But here's the controls for the debug. So yeah, we're going to be getting more into this, and Eclipse will become more of your friend as we go through programming. And when we get more advanced programs, I can show you the debug tool more in action there, where it can become pretty useful. So I think I'm going to end here. Comment, rate, subscribe, and thanks for watching.